to Teams Time, the SmartCom Summit talk show here. We're talking about hybrid work, the effect on the workplace, the effect on also customer experience, because we're moving a little bit into that direction now. With me, Gilbert, welcome again.
Session number 4.
Session number 4 of the day. Good. And we have with us here today Jasper Filon of AudioCodes and Oki Ashonu.
Very good.
Yeah, did I good?
Yeah.
Good.
At 10.
Of Puzzle at 10. Jasper, Oki. Well, let's start. Everybody knows AudioCodes.
Of course.
So let's start with Puzzle.
Yes.
Quick introduction. Who or what is Puzzle? Where's it come from? And what do you do?
So a very quick introduction about Puzzle. What we do, we deliver contact center as a service solutions. So it's basically contact center software from the cloud. And Puzzle is a company that's originally from Norway, from Oslo, where also all infrastructure in our data center is. And they have expanded through the years to other countries in Europe. So in UK, in Bulgaria, obviously throughout Scandinavia, and most recently in the Netherlands.
Cool. AudioCodes, well known for everything in the network, working with operators, enterprises. We don't have to go into that.
Including Puzzle.
Including everything.
Exactly.
So, I'd like to ask you the question about effective communication, because that's what it's all about, right, these days. What does that mean to you, Oki?
Effective communication. I think it's always the best way between two or more parties and the way they communicate. And obviously there's one party that's providing, or let's say, giving the communication and one receiving the communication. And obviously it is about how effective do you do that. And in between there are tools that can facilitate this. So that's where companies like us come in and provide those tools to provide effective communication.
Should there be an acknowledgement of the other side? Because you're saying there's one is sending and the other one is receiving. Should there be? Is it only effective when there's also an acknowledgement afterwards?
I think it's the one that receives is basically says, okay, I have received the message. It's clear, so this makes sense to me. Yeah. So there's always an acknowledgement on one side, but obviously we have learned it in school that if the message doesn't come in the right way, then it's always the one that sent the message out. That's where typically the problem would lie. So it's always, it's a delicate balance between the both.
Yeah. Okay.
Jasper, same question for you. AudioCodes has been a leader, I think, in voice technology and intelligence for 28 years or something like that. Yeah. What does effective communication mean today, these days?
I think, and that's also the vision from AudioCodes, that voice, spoken communication is still the most effective way. There's no other medium in which we can send information as fast, as reliable as by speaking with each other. But of course, all the other communication is important as well.
But is voice coming back then? Sorry to interrupt you. Because we just earlier talked to Tony, told us that his new way of working is at the end of a flight not to do emails, but to do calls for an hour, because all of a sudden that's natural again to have the calls.
It's always been. It has never been gone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was thinking about those questions, and then I was thinking about the Generation Z that's now coming on onto the workforce, and they don't do that much with voice. Right. I mean, they are mainly on the phones. Do you see a change from that perspective too?
Yeah, one of the things, because I like the example, because one of the things when mobile phones came, then we were like, oh, everyone is going to text each other. Yeah. And now if you look at the younger generations using WhatsApp, they're not sending text. They're
sending voice messages.
Sending voice messages.
Or TikTok thingies and...
So, voice will be there.
No, I'm not. No.
Neither have I.
Okay. But it's interesting. And if you think of the contact center, I mean, voice, that's clearly coming back, right? Intelligent voice and agents and combining that. And exactly. I know one of the things you do at AudioCodes is connecting voice to bots.
Yeah.
So you bring those two worlds together.
Definitely. And it comes with challenges, but also comes with great rewards. It's the typical, and we spoke about it earlier today, right? If you do things with a bot, you have to make sure that the transition is seamless, that if there's an handover from a virtual bot to a real bot or from one bot to another, people don't like to repeat themselves. But if you do it properly, it enhances the customer experience tremendously.
Yeah.
And is that simple enough? That sort of okay at Puzzel, is that something that you help
It is
also the smaller companies with, or is this still an enterprise play?
Well, traditionally it was something from enterprise.
Yeah.
So it's a technology that has been around for some time now, and we see it now being requested in other segments. So smaller companies are also talking about this type of technology and wanting this type of technology to utilize it to enhance customer experience.
And where's the fine tuning then? Is it in the technology, or is it in the way, let's say, the Q&A is programmed, and that let's say that customers can find the right answers?
Yeah, it's always a balance. So obviously technology is a facilitator for this, and then it's how you as an organization organize those other things to have a synergetic effect to create a better experience.
Yeah, because I mean, that's always where I'm annoyed of when you're at a website. The Q&A is never for me a Q&A as in the most asked questions, because my thing is never in there. So then you wonder with a bot, does that then solve my problems?
Exactly. So what we see is obviously through artificial intelligence, we see bots being more intelligent and showing more empathy, so that you have the feeling as a customer that you're really speaking with and interacting with a company. So yeah, we'll see that in the future, bots being more intelligent, actually replacing the human being. I'm afraid to say that. Not talking about any Terminator scenarios, but something is like that is coming.
But I mean, there is one very important word in what you just mentioned, which is empathy, and that was in the same line with the bots. So is that the next thing, that empathy is being integrated into how bots can sense your emotions?
Exactly. So sensing intent, being intelligent, and not intelligence in that they know everything, but more that they have emotional intelligence. So you'll have bots that can basically, from the outside, from a customer's perspective, look like you're interacting with a human being. So that will, on the other side, for companies, save money, and the customer will have a feeling that he has an excellent experience with the company.
Now you're saying as if you're interacting with a human being. Is that what you should? Is that the objective? Let's say that somebody doesn't really know the difference anymore, or is it better to make it very clear that you're talking to a bot and that they're trying to help you as much as possible?
It's never an objective, obviously, to have that. You want to speak. We always do. We want to speak to human beings. So we always, if we are trying to find an answer or have an interaction with a company, what we'll tend to do is, let's just call the company. I want to speak to someone. Yeah. So it's never the idea to say, okay, let's have a bot that looks like a human being, and hopefully people won't find out. That's never the objective. It's more that people want to have the feeling that it's seamless. So, and as Jasper said, voice is something that's the most basic and primary way of communicating. So if you can replicate that through technology, you'll have something that looks like effective communication. Okay.
And perhaps another thing with the voice recognition.
Last question.
Oh, in terms of time. Time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a difficult. It was more like your voice. Can it also be hacked? I mean, if you have lots of messages that you can it be hacked or not? With the deep fakes, we see what.
Deep fakes are amazing quality. Yeah, and we're working with companies now where you can design a voice. So if you're having a contact center as a company and you go to virtual agents, there's companies that offer you to design a voice. Like, what would you like the voice of your company like? What should it be like? So yeah, we should think about things like that and was it really said? But that's not a voice only. That's in video we see the same issue.
Okay, good. Yeah. Interesting topic for later on.
We'll continue a bit more in the next session, but thank you very much, Jasper and Oki, for this explanation. Thank you.